All right, check out this chart. I showed it to my neighbor Bruce, beginning guitar player down the street. He now knows what a 5/13 or second inversion C major triad is, and here's why. Well, first I said, Bruce, what do you notice about this shape? And we'll go over the chart. It's linked below. This is video 9 out of 12 major triad videos we're going to make. Then we're going to do all 12 minor triads. Your playing will grow by leaps and bounds, more than anything you do. Okay. So I said, what do you notice about this shape, Bruce? I said, you got to start recognizing how shapes translate across the guitar neck, and you do too, and you will. He said, I recognize the shape, but I don't know, and I went here, and I moved it here, and I went, and then he's like, oh, I totally get it. That's an E major open chord. And I said, yeah, but you're just used to seeing it with these fingers, with the pointer, you know, the middle, and the ring finger. I said, but in this case, it's the same exact shape. I'm going to keep using the same fingers, okay? So what we have is a shape that translates and you can move it around the neck. So let's just kind of go over the most important part of this chart, and then we'll go over all the little finer details. And I'm going to stay consistent on every chart. So 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Now keep in mind the R, the root is the 1. So on the top left of the chart, I just threw a piece of information that says the R root note is the same thing as the 1. In this case, I'm just going to keep this chart that says 5, 1, 3. There's another page in the book, linked below, in a folder where it has everything for you, neatly organized. We'll keep adding to it. The root is the 1. Believe it or not, people have gotten confused on that. It's just the language of music is deep. Okay, now you see how I have red arrows. The most important part of this, and the reason I'm making this playlist, instead of putting G, C, E, I want you to know you can move this to any key as long as you know where the root note is. So in a 5/13 or second inversion triad, more on that in just a minute, you can move the root, and as long as you know what string the root is on, in this case it's on the A string, because we're on the EAD string set. You see that red box on the left around the EAD strings? That's your reference point. I call that the Eddie box, because my friend Eddie said, put a red box around the string sets, dude, so people know what the heck you're talking about. All right. So if I move that, let's say I move this shape. Now watch, the shape will not change. I move it all the way up here. I did this for Bruce too. I just wanted to test it. And I said, Bruce, okay. I said, what string is the root or the 1 on? He said, it's on the A string. He was looking at the chart. I said, exactly. I said, okay. Now all you gotta do is figure out what note that is, and you'll know what second inversion triad you're playing, because he knows the shape now. He said, oh, that is a G, okay? I said, okay, what triad inversion do you play? He said, a G second inversion. I said, correct. So as long as you move it and you know where the root is, you can figure out and play whatever key you want to play in, okay? So if I move here, okay, root note still stays on the same string for the EAD string set, the 5/13 or 5√3. He says, oh, that's an F. I said, there's your F second inversion triad. And I don't know why players don't use this triad inversion more. It's such a beautiful flavor, all right? So a 5/1 second inversion triad on the EAD string set. Now let's go into the inversion part. All an inversion is this. Bottom left of this chart, I tell you, where does this come from, okay? So if you look at the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, you build the triad by using the 1st, 3rd, and 5th degree or note from that scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I use this one, and this one. So there it is, C, E, G. So we know we have to have C, E, G to build a C major triad. Now in this case, we're taking the 5th note, the G, we're putting that as the lowest note in this shape. Now there's a 1, 3, 5 triad, this one, okay? There's 4 of them, and then there's also a second inversion, 351, there's this one, okay? And then now we're doing a 5/13. They're just different flavors, because Bruce was like, why do I need to know all those? I said, well, sometimes you're just gonna want a flavor. And in this case, below that, on the bottom left, the 351 triad is made by stacking 2 intervals. This, in case you wanna go a little geek out a little more, so you see on the bottom right, the 5 to the root, or the 5 to the 1, that is a perfect 4th interval. So these 2 strings, perfect 4th. This is what gives it like a mellow quality, my brain. And then the root to the 3, the 1 to the 3, that is a major 3rd. You play all 3, there's your second inversion 5/13 triad, okay? Now any questions you have, just drop them in the comments, and just be aware of this. Even if you're totally confused, if you keep coming back here, you stick with me, I'm gonna show you how to use these, and the light bulb moments will happen. Guitar is a journey just like life. We're not gonna learn it in 2 days. You just gotta put in the work, but just use this one. Now, let's talk about some playing examples, all right? So, one great thing you can do is, since you're right here, okay, you you've got this type of C major second inversion triad, why don't you just practice going from a C open chord, because I know we all know that, right? C open chord to the second inversion C. So you go to the triad, open chord to the triad. Okay, pick it, get rid of the pick and use your fingers. Open chord, pick and flick, triad. See how it has that, like, it has like this warm mellow quality when you play it. So another example could be something like this. Let's say you wanted to do a 1-4-5, like C, F, G. What if we played the C as a triad, and then we'll go F, and let's just do all second inversion triads, because you know how to move it up. So we went C, F, to G, back to C. Now let's do a C second inversion, a 5-13. Let's do the triad, but let's just go to the like the open chords, F major to G. So we go rhythm is king, F to G, C, excuse me, F, G. Okay, so you see, that's why you want to learn these triads. That's why we're doing this, okay? So we're going to keep this rolling one day at a time. Don't let this triad pass you by. This one, this 5-13 is such a beautiful one. Now we got 3 more of these second inversion triads, but go back, watch the playlist. It's going to end up here or here somewhere. Remember, rhythm is king, rhythm is queen. So always keep your rhythm. So take this hand out until you can kind of land the triad. I had Bruce do this. I had him just hold the strings and go like this. Just kind of keep getting that shape. And you know what's going to happen too, just for funsies? Is you're going to see sometimes you're going to be in a jam and you're going to start playing that E major chord like that, okay? So there's a reason for that we'll go over later. All right, there's enough. Grab the chart. I reorganized the folder last night so it has all 4 string sets as I make new charts. They're little ebooks. Remember, it has the 1 and the R. So there's 2 pages, but it's all in there for you, nice, neatly organized. Let me know how you're doing. Drop a comment. Drop jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's keep this thing rolling. We got a lot more, and then we're going to start having a ton of fun so you can see how we start using those, all right? But remember, keep that rhythm going. Beatbox it, all right? I got you covered. We will keep this thing going. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.